U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance warned against what he called excessive regulation of AI at the AI Action Summit in Paris on Tuesday. Vance's address challenged Europe's regulatory approach to artificial intelligence and its moderation of content on big tech platforms, saying it would cripple the fast-growing industry.
Now, we invite your countries to work with us and to follow that model if it makes sense for your nations. However, the Trump administration is troubled by reports that some foreign governments are considering tightening the screws on U.S. tech companies with international footprints. Now, America cannot and will not accept that, and we think it's a terrible mistake, not just for the United States of America, but for your own countries.
European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen announced that Europe will mobilize 200 billion euros for investment in artificial intelligence. She stressed that AI is a force for good as long as its benefits are widespread and accessible to all. The summit underscores a three-way race for AI supremacy: Europe striving to regulate and invest, China expanding access through state-backed tech giants, and the US under Trump prioritizing a hands-off approach.
I hear that Europe is late to the race, while the United States or China have already gotten ahead. I disagree, because the AI race is far from being over. Truth is, we're only at the beginning.
The European Union will channel 200 billion euros into AI investments in a bid to catch up with the thriving tech ecosystems in the US and China. An announcement warmly welcomed by multiple European startups present at the Station F incubator in Paris for the AI summit.
It's not all done to the largest companies. There's a lot that can be done. We have lots of innovation, lots of people figuring out how to do things more efficient, faster, more respectful of the regulations that we do have here. There are tons to do there.
The EU was one of the first global powers to introduce comprehensive regulations around AI. But US Vice President J.D. Vance criticized this regulatory environment in a speech on Tuesday. Some AI experts, however, believe European companies need to lose these regulations if they want to remain competitive.
So what we need is European entrepreneurs working with American technology, and then we at least share the power, we share the revenue. But if we don't do anything and want to do it on our own, we will fail, because we don't have it, and the Americans have it. They have the technology and the capital and the speed and the innovation. So let's tear down the wall and accept them and cooperate with them, because the enemy is not the US.
The US and the UK have notably refused to sign the summit's declaration that encourages countries to abide by certain ethics of AI governance. Sofia Katzenkova reporting from Paris for Euronews.
US President Donald Trump and ally Elon Musk have defended the slashing of federal government programs and employees under Musk's Dodge program. In a rare question and answer session between Musk and reporters on Tuesday, Elon Musk insisted he was not orchestrating a hostile takeover of government.
Transparency is what builds trust, not simply somebody asserting trust. So not somebody saying they're trustworthy, but transparency, so you can see everything that's going on. And then you can see, am I doing something that benefits one of my companies or not? It's totally obvious.
And if we thought that, we would not let him do that segment or look in that area if we thought there was a lack of transparency or a conflict of interest. And we watched that also. He's a big businessman. He's a successful guy. That's why we want him doing this. We don't want an unsuccessful guy doing this.
Trump and Musk are pushing federal workers to resign in return for financial incentives, although their plan is currently on hold while a judge reviews its legality.
Because of the damage to the United States.
The transatlantic twilight. This is the expression used by the think tank ECFR, or European Council on Foreign Relations, following its survey on relations between the European Union and President Donald Trump's United States. According to the study published today and carried out in 11-member countries, 50% of those questioned believe that the United States is a necessary partner, compared with 21% who see Washington as an ally. These figures mark a shift in European opinion.
The main lesson is that citizens are already accepting and acknowledging the fact that Europeans and European leaders need to adopt a more pragmatic approach towards America. So in that polling, people do not show too strong illusions about the US. They kind of accept that if Trump wants it transactional, then we need to be open to a transaction as well.
Faced with Donald Trump's America First slogan, the report's authors suggest that the Union should prepare to defend its interests and turn the page on the historic transatlantic link.
So we call it a transatlantic twilight because we believe that the old transatlanticism is over and the new one is supposed to be born. It can be born based on the action of the European mainstream, who could adopt a more transactional and pragmatic approach. In such a scenario, yes, the transatlantic relationship would be based less on the values than it was the case in the past.
The poll highlights the divergent perceptions of the new American president in member states. The Republican has a positive image in Hungary and Bulgaria, while Denmark and Germany are much more skeptical. This is why the authors of the study call on EU leaders not to act in isolation, to try to establish a privileged relationship with Donald Trump at the expense of their European partners.
With the deportation debate fueling polarization in Germany ahead of the snap election in less than 2 weeks, both established political and populist parties are promising quicker deportations and stricter migration controls. Christian Democratic Union interior politician Christoph de Vries says the current EU deportation model is dysfunctional and says change is urgently needed.
Wissen Sie, ich glaube, man muss in der Diskussion mal eins ganz offen und ehrlich sagen. Die Rückführungen funktionieren in keinem Mitgliedstaat der Europäischen Union wirklich zufriedenstellend. Und das führt uns in der CDU zu der Erkenntnis, dass wir die illegalen Einreisen nach Deutschland, aber vor allen Dingen insgesamt nach Europa stoppen müssen, weil wir ja sehen, wie schwer die Rückführungen sind. Und wenn die Menschen erstmal eingereist sind, sind die rechtlichen und tatsächlichen Hürden für die Abschiebung so groß, dass wir das niemals so zufriedenstellend hinbekommen werden, wie das eigentlich notwendig und wünschenswert wäre.
According to figures from the German Interior Ministry, 60% of deportations fail in Germany every year. The German police unions say there aren't enough detention spaces to carry out deportations properly.
Wir müssen letztendlich europäisch arbeiten. Das heißt, wir müssen alle Länder in der Europäischen Union an einen Tisch bekommen, sodass wir letztendlich eine Vorgehensweise haben. Gleiche Bedingungen für alle Menschen, die bei uns Asyl und letztendlich Schutzersuchen stellen. Wir brauchen einen klaren Verteilungsschlüssel für alle und wir müssen unsere europäischen Außengrenzen viel besser schützen. Hier bedarf es Frontex, die stark aufgestockt werden müssen, die europäischen Außengrenzen mit den jeweiligen Ländern besser schützen, um letztendlich dadurch die Reisefreiheit innerhalb von Europa nicht zu gefährden.
Legal expert Daniel Time says the system doesn't work because of poor interagency cooperation and high levels of cases.
Deutschland ist ein Einwanderungsland, das braucht. Aber wir müssen wahrscheinlich wirklich unterscheiden zwischen Fachkräfteeinwanderung, qualifizierte Leute, die im Ausland die Sprache lernen, dann nach Deutschland kommen, von Anfang an arbeiten, Geld verdienen, in der eigenen Wohnung wohnen und eine Asylmigration, die häufig, das zeigen uns die Statistiken, leider gering qualifiziert ist, wo die Leute kein Deutsch sprechen, dann erstmal arbeitslos sind, vom Staat untergebracht werden und auch die durchaus sehr großzügigen deutschen Sozialleistungen in Anspruch nehmen. Das sind zwei ganz unterschiedliche Formen von Migration. Und ich befürchte, dass dieser negative Asyldiskurs die absolut notwendige positive Einstellung zu Fachkräftemigration untergräbt.
Liv Stroud in Berlin for Euronews.
L'accord avec le Mercosur paraît complètement aberrant.
La compétitivité de nos entreprises va se renforcer. Vilipendiado por unos, defendido por otros, mal comprendido por muchos, el denominado Acuerdo Mercosur genera estos días grandes pasiones en granjas de toda la Unión Europea, especialmente aquí en Francia. La Comisión Europea acaba de firmarlo, para gran consternación de casi todos los agricultores franceses que se oponen abiertamente a un acuerdo ambicioso y complejo que lleva 25 años en negociación.
El Mercado Común del Sur, Mercosur y la Unión Europea han acordado comerciar bienes con aranceles reducidos o sin ellos. Si es ratificado, crearía un mercado de unos 800 millones de personas, una de las zonas de libre comercio más grandes del mundo. Eliminaría más del 90% de aranceles entre Brasil, Argentina, Paraguay, Uruguay y los 27 países comunitarios. Implicaría menos impuestos sobre coches, equipos industriales y productos químicos europeos, además de ropa, productos farmacéuticos y algunos agroalimentarios. A cambio, la UE abriría más sus mercados al Mercosur, en particular a sus productos agroalimentarios. Aumentarían cuotas libres de impuestos de azúcar y aves de corral. Mercosur también podría exportar a Europa 99.000 toneladas adicionales de vacuno con aranceles reducidos, el 1,6% de su producción anual en Europa. Alemania y España apoyan el acuerdo. Italia ha enviado señales contradictorias. Polonia y en particular Francia están en contra. Sus agricultores dicen que los productores Mercosur no estarán sometidos a normas y costes laborales europeos ni a su estricta regulación de pesticidas u hormonas y antibióticos en animales. Denuncian además que el acuerdo desampara a los consumidores y amenaza la sostenibilidad de las granjas de la Unión Europea.